All right, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, fishing accomplices, good morning and welcome back to fishing. So it is August 27th right now. We are in the tail end of summer. And with that, it's also the tail end of my summer break. I'm going back to teaching very soon. This is my last full week of break, and I am trying to make the most of it. So yeah, it is Tuesday right now, and we are somewhere we haven't been in a little while, New York City Bays, South Shore, and we're looking for a number of things. I brought fluke stuff, I brought porgy stuff. I'm really gonna call it like I see it. You know, if there's just tons of people fishing for porgies, I might just jump right into fluke, but porgies would be nice. I haven't really done any serious porgy fishing this year. I did actually do some fishing yesterday and got a few porgies, but out in the Western Sound, so at least that's heating up. But I know the big ones are definitely down here right now, so we're gonna check into that if we can. Fluke is certainly an option as well. I'm not quite sure how this is gonna go, but just looking to stuff the cooler bag with whatever we can get. So that is what I have planned for you. Please stay tuned, because it's time to get some fishing accomplished. Okay, it is time to answer the question, is it porgy o'clock? I'm hoping the answer is resounding yes, but yeah, got some moving tide. Doesn't seem like the fluke bite's really super on right now. A lot of interference stuff, so let's see if we can work this structure to find some porgies or whatever else eat these crabs. Let's give this one a shot. These porgies don't mess around. Is it a porgy? I hope it's a porgy. Yeah, it's a porgy. Yeah. These are a long ways off from the porgies we get back at home. I just took my jig. Damn it. Well, that was unfortunate. I guess I should have checked that leader. I don't know why it snapped, but whatever. Try again. Alright. Not the start we were hoping for, but at least we know there's something here. Back down. Yeah, we're just fishing these little shore crabs. Got quite a few of them. Not tons, but enough to have some fun. Back down we go. Alright, been getting a lot of bites, but nothing's been taking it, so I'm wondering if it's just the jig's a little too heavy for them to pick it up. So we're gonna switch to a bottom sweeper jig. This is like probably a ½ ounce. It's definitely on the lighter side, but we are a little broken from the current, so let's see if this makes any difference with how these fish approach the jig. If we can even hold, that is. Instant. Didn't take long with that bottom sweeper jig. And this isn't a plug, it's just me trying. Not as big. Hog. Dang. Porgy? Slab. Not that big. It's not as big as that one that snapped us off. We can be picky today, so want something a little bigger. Got some porgies at home. That's a bit more like it. That's a bit more like it. That's the size we're looking for. We almost just lost that one too. That one's not even that big, considering how big they can get, but it'll be a start. About 14. Good start. Okay, first kept porgy. Gotten a few, just nothing super great that we've gotten in the boat. Got a lot of tog so far too, which is kind of collateral damage for this kind of fishing. But of course, they're out of season and we're getting them right back as soon as we get them. But see if we can get a few more porgies for the stringer before we decide our next move. That's a porgy. Tell by those head shakes. Yeah, take you too. That's even bigger. Damn, son. Open up. Alright, another nice porgy. I'm not trying to keep tons of them, but if I can get like between half a dozen and maybe 10 at most, if they're all really big, that would be great. I'd say like 3 is the meal size for the way I like to cook them. So I like to freeze maybe 2 or 3 meals worth for the winter. So I don't think I'm coming back down here anytime soon with my schedule, but we'll see. Certainly get into a few of them during the Long Island Sound tog run if it's anything like last year. Though those ones don't average necessarily as big as these ones, though they can get big. Alright, tide is pretty much slack right now. I actually just hooked a fish that snapped me off, so up into a 40-pound test leader, which is probably what I should have been doing from the get-go. The question is, how well will this sink with a lighter jig head? So I kind of hinted at it before. Along with the porgies, I'm also getting quite a few tog. Nothing necessarily big, and I'm pretty much omitting most of them from this video just because it would be too long and too redundant, but I would say I'm honestly getting like 1.5 tog for every porgy I'm getting. And yeah, again, it's just kind of bycatch for this type of fishing. Again, no surprise to me, but I'm going to keep most of them out of the video except for some of the nicer ones, which I made sure to get back right away, of course. But just an aside, yeah, I started off with a heavier jig, about an ounce, and I was getting a lot of bites, but they weren't really taking it, just a lot of nibbles. And really the key for this kind of fishing, for me at least, is you don't want to set that hook until you feel the jig in the fish's mouth and they're moving around with it. So that's why I downsized to the half-ounce bottom sweeper jig. And again, it's kind of a waiting game. You just get the crab down there, you feel the taps, but again, you're not setting the hook until you feel that fish moving around, whether it's a porgy or anything else for that matter. But yeah, it worked out pretty well. With a tide was slack, it was a bit of a tougher bite, but we still managed some decent fish. More tog. This might be a porgy. Doubt it. Oh yeah, it is. Oh yeah, big one. That's what we're talking about. Sure. So many tog to get through, but it's worth it for nice little slabs like this. That wasn't a bad little porgy. Definitely having to pick through the tog to get them, which I'm not stupid. I know it's no surprise we're getting tog while targeting porgies with crabs, but I persist with crabs because there's other things that would be desirable to catch while fishing these crabs. For instance, just to name one, triggerfish. I don't expect there to be a lot around, but there certainly could be some, amongst other things. Pretty much everything eats crabs, but worms maybe not as much. I'll get a lot of small stuff too, so we will persist with crabs. Oh, jeez, that's big. That's a big fish. It's a big tog, probably. Big tog, jeez. Just one shot of that thing. That is a big tog. I was kind of hoping you were going to be something else. Jeez. It's like a 6 or 7 pound fish right there. Not the right season. Silly. Oh yeah, that's the porgy you're looking for. Jeez. Slab. Whew. Yeah, 15-inch porgy. Okay, so we've been at it for a while. Fun day of porgy fishing so far, even though we've caught more blackfish than anything. But yeah, I think now is a better time than ever to jump into today's seltzer of the day. And this is a very interesting one. I've been saving this one for the end of the summer. This is Sea Moss Beverage Mango Ginger. I have never had this. This was a $5 bottle, so this might be a tremendous mistake drinking this while I'm about 2 miles from launch, but let's see what happens. Okay. Well, it's not carbonated. It's got a very strange texture. It's kind of like a little thicker, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I guess check this out if you're into weird drinks, but I don't know if it's worth $5. But at least this video, hopefully, will be worth it, and we're bringing some fish home. So let's see if we can get some good action during incoming and maybe switch to fluke once that tide really starts moving. See if we can get a few more keepers before we switch over to fluke. It's a weird drink. I guess the rating I give this is probably a 7.8. It's got some interesting flavor. If this were carbonated, it'd be a lot easier to stomach. The price tag, I guess, is the other big deal. I guess this has a bit more to it, you know, in terms of like nutrients and stuff, but I'm feeling 7.8 for this one. This porgy, it's a nice one. Oh yeah. Heck yeah. It's not bad. It's not quite as big as some of the other ones, but happy to get them. You can do better. Just let go of another legal porgy, probably like a close to 13-incher. You can be picky when the bite's like this. I like to only really keep them at this point unless they're 14 plus. Long Island Sound right now is another story by where I live, but be picky down here. Especially if we start keeping fluke, if we can get any. That's something good. That's something good. It's big. Don't be a tug, come on. It's gotta be a tug. Oh my God, foul giant porgy. Woof. That is a slab. Another 15-incher probably. Yeah, 15 and a little bit of change. It's a big porgy if it's a porgy. I don't think it's a tug. Yeah, big porgy. Jeez, man. Jeez. Biggest one yet, I think. Whew. Jeez, son. That's why we're letting go of 13-inchers. About 15. All right, another Labrador of a porgy. 15 inches. That's basically the new size limit for me today. I don't want to really keep anything unless they're that size or they're gonna die for whatever reason. Another thing to mention about this drink though is it's kind of bitter. It's got a bitter aftertaste, so if they had carbonation, it really wouldn't be so bad, but it's not bad, it's just not great. You know, when you're paying $5 for this, I guess you really want some of those vitamins, which doesn't actually seem like there's that many of. I don't know. Just food for thought, or drink for thought. All right, we're making a slight move. Just getting a little too sloppy where we were fishing. There's a ton of bait in the water. Let's try a few runs over here. Should be able to stick a little bit easier to this piece, but we'll find out soon. Nice porgy. Jeez. Wow. He's 14, we'll keep him. Yeah. Make it 15. Another nice porgy. Not quite as big as some of the ones we've gotten, so we let him go. Probably should have kept him, but whatever. Just having fun right now. Don't really need any more fish for today. So much bait around though, just look at this. Definitely could be some good fluke action. Definitely getting me thinking. Let's fish porgies a little longer. Plenty of fluke in our future. No time at all. One after another. Oh, I'm sure. Another nice 14-inch porgy. I'm only keep 2 more at about that size. Otherwise, I'm not keeping them unless they're 16 inches or bigger, which we don't even have a 16-incher right now, so certainly they're down there. That's a good one. It's like something's not right here. Something's not right here. Instant. It's a big one. Jeez, those head shakes. Look at that porgy, jeez. Stupid big porgies, man. Yeah, 15 incher. Mega porgies, bro. That's the last one we're gonna keep, unless they're over 16. Which this one, I think, is actually probably approaching. Jeez. 15 and a little bit more. Alright, last few crabs. Let's give an honest effort before we give up on the porgies. What's a good fish? Jeez. Porgy is a giant. Don't be a dog. Big dog. Jeez. Hold on. Oh, easy. You're going right back. Going right back. That's a nice one. He's nice, but he's not 16, so he's going back. Solid though. After that fish, I continued to try for porgies for a little longer. I got a few small tog, again, not the intended target. And pretty much just got to my last crabs, ended up snagging the jig on the bottom, losing the jig, and deciding that was probably a good place to end for the porgies and move on to fluke. Okay, we just lost a jig, and that's the last one I'm willing to lose today. I don't have many crabs left, so I just let the ones I had go. Got enough porgies. We're just going to try and see if we can get on some fluke. I'm not super optimistic it's going to go super well, just because there's a ton of, smaller stuff around that I think is going to interfere and destroy this gulp, but it's worth a shot. So let's try this 5-inch paddle shad. I think 1 ounce should do the trick, maybe even 3/4, but let's see what we can do. Alright, let's try our luck for some fluke. Yeah, so I did not spend a lot of time fishing for fluke on this particular day. I gave it maybe like 30 minutes, and it wasn't really a great 30 minutes either. The tide was moving, but the problem, or one of the problems, was there were so many people anchored or spot locked for porgies that there weren't a lot of really good lines for drifting. I like to, have some very targeted drifts that move through different areas and hit it from different trajectories, and that wasn't as attractive an option when there were so many other boats around. So after a few runs and getting a couple small fluke, I just decided to call it and make my way back to launch. Okay, so that's probably going to do it for today. I did try for fluke for a little bit, but honestly, between a lot of the anchored boats and just the tide just going, you know, to 11. Just don't really have it in me right now. Plus we got all the porgies we need and I got to clean them. Plus a few other errands I have to run this afternoon. I think it's a good place to call it. And then finally, I just want to try and get ahead of that rush hour traffic. So yeah, pretty good stuff. I always try and get at least one of these porgy outings in each year. They are fun. Definitely something the city really enjoys. I mean, it almost feels like, you know, the porgy run here in New York is akin to like the fall run of striped bass in Montauk, or, you know, the steelhead run upstate in places like the Salmon River. Just anyone and everyone that has any interest in doing it is going to try and get a piece of it. You know, you're seeing kayaks, boats, jet skis, inflatable rafts, just anyone that has even the remotest ability to get out there, try and make it happen. I get it. You know, that's why I can't do it every day. It just gets to be a little bit too chaotic. I can handle, you know, the crowds every so often, but more often than not, I try and keep it, you know, a little bit more casual. But hey, it was a good time. Definitely going home with some fish, so nothing to complain about there. And that'll do it for today. So thanks for watching as always. I'll catch you the next one. Goodbye from fishing.